There is a specific kind of madness in silence. We are told that the most difficult job in the kingdom is fighting, to swing a sword, to storm a castle, to face the roar of a cannon. But I tell you, that is not true. The hardest job is to sit still, to watch a road where nothing ever happens, until it does. Welcome. Take a seat on the wooden stool. It creaks, but it holds. Wrap this wool blanket around your shoulders. The air up here in the high pass bites at the skin, even in summer. My name is Elian. I am a watcher, and this is guard post number 4. For the next while, you and I are going to do something very simple and very dangerous. We are going to watch the road. It is 5 a.m. The shift begins. Welcome to the northern outpost. The locals call it the Needle because it sits so high up in the granite peaks that it seems to stitch the earth to the sky. You are Thomas. You are 34 years old. You are a man who prefers the company of clouds to the company of men. You requested this transfer. You wanted the quiet. You wanted to get away from the noise of the city, the politics, the crowded taverns. You wanted peace. But be careful what you wish for. Drink this. It's chicory coffee. It's bitter, black, and hot enough to remind you that you are alive. You might ask, Elian, why are we guarding an empty road in the middle of nowhere?
That is the question that keeps me awake. Look at the map on the wall. This road connects the capital to the northern territories, but look closely. The map shows towns along this route, villages, trading posts, but if you look out that window right now, do you see any smoke from chimneys? Do you see any lights? No, because the road out there doesn't match the road on the map. Somewhere, somehow, the geography shifted, and we are the only ones watching it happen.
It is 5 a.m. The sun has not yet crested the mountains. The world is painted in shades of charcoal and steel. Your shift began an hour ago. It will end at sunset. Your instructions are simple. They are written on a brass plaque bolted to the stone wall next to your chair. Rule 1, watch the road. Rule 2, log every traveler. Rule 3, do not open the gate for anyone without a seal. Rule 4, if the road changes, ring the bell. You have read these rules 1,000 times. The first 3 make sense, but the 4th one, if the road changes. How does a road change? It is dirt and stone. It is inanimate. It does not move. And yet, every time you look at that plaque, the brass seems a little more tarnished, a little older.
Wait, listen. Do you hear that? It's the wind hitting the singing rocks a mile down. Or it's the rhythm of a carriage. Eyes on the mist. Don't blink. Nothing, just the wind. This is the trap of the watcher. Your mind wants to fill the empty space. You start to hear things that aren't there. But here is the catch. Just because you imagined it doesn't mean it isn't coming. 6 a.m. The sun is up. The shadows are long and sharp. This is my favorite time and also the most unsettling, because when the light hits the road at this angle, you can see the grooves in the stone. Wheel tracks, millions of them, worn deep into the rock over centuries. So who made these tracks, and when did they make them?
You sit back in your wooden chair. It creaks. The sound is startlingly loud in the small circular room. You look at the logbook on the desk. The previous guard, a man named Silas, left yesterday. He didn't say goodbye. He just packed his satchel and walked down the mountain path without looking back. You open the logbook to see his entries from the last week. You want to know what to expect. Monday, no travelers. Tuesday, no travelers. Wednesday, no travelers. Thursday, the fog was heavy. I thought I saw a carriage, but it made no sound, logged as hallucination. Friday, no travelers.
You frown. This road is the King's Highway. It connects the trade cities of the south to the mining towns of the north. It should be busy. Merchants, tax collectors, messengers. But in the 3 years I have sat in this tower, I have seen exactly 4 wagons pass. 4 in 3 years. So the road looks pristine. There are no rut marks from wagon wheels. There are no hoof prints in the mud. It looks like a painting of a road rather than a road itself. You take a sip of your coffee. The warmth spreads through your chest, grounding you. Just a quiet post, you tell yourself. Easy money. You pick up your spyglass, a heavy brass telescope, and rest it on the window ledge. You train it on the tree line about a mile away. That is the bend, the point where travelers first appear. You adjust the focus. The glass lenses slide with a satisfying click. The pine trees leap into focus. They are tall, ancient, and still. Not a single branch is moving.
Wait. You squint. At the base of the trees, where the shadows are deepest, there is something standing. It looks like a mile marker, a stone pillar, but you don't remember seeing a mile marker there yesterday. You check the map pinned to the wall. According to the cartographer's drawing from 1750, the first mile marker is 2 miles down, not 1. Something has stepped onto the road. It's not a wagon, it's a walker. Grab the spyglass, gently. Do not let the lens reflect the sun. Let's see who is walking on a road that doesn't exist on any modern map. You rub your eyes. You look again. It's just a rock. It has to be a rock. The morning light plays tricks on the eyes. The brain tries to find patterns in the chaos. Pareidolia. You lower the telescope. You pick up your quill. You feel the need to write something, just to prove that time is passing.
5:45 a.m. Visibility poor. Heavy mist. Travelers none. Notes. Spotted a new rock formation near the tree line. Likely fell during the night. You sand the ink to dry it. The scratching sound is comforting. But as you blow the sand away, you feel a draft on the back of your neck. The door behind you is closed. The windows are sealed. So where is the air coming from?
You turn to find the source of the draft. The heavy oak door is bolted shut. The iron latch hasn't moved. The windows are thick, distorted glass set into stone frames that have held for 2 centuries. There is no way for the wind to get in. And yet, the flame of your candle is dancing. It flickers to the left, then to the right, as if something invisible is walking past it. You realize the draft isn't coming from the walls. It is coming from the floor. You look down at the heavy wooden planks beneath your boots. There are gaps between the wood, small cracks where the dust of decades has settled. You kneel down. You place your hand flat against the wood. You feel it, a rhythmic puff of cold air. Exhale, inhale, exhale. The tower isn't just a structure of stone and mortar. It is a lung. It is breathing in time with the mountain. It is 8 a.m.
The sun is higher now, burning off the lower layers of mist. The world outside turns from gray to a brilliant, blinding white. It is time for breakfast. You unwrap a cloth bundle on the desk. Hard bread, a wedge of sharp cheddar cheese, and a dried apple. The food is simple, but up here, every flavor is intense. You chew slowly. You have nowhere to be. You have no one to talk to. Eating becomes a ritual. As you eat, you watch the road. The rock near the tree line, the one you noted earlier, is still there. But something about it bothers you. You pick up the spyglass again, wiping a crumb of bread from your lip. You lean into the eyepiece. The rock has moved. It hasn't moved much, maybe 50 yards, but it is definitely closer than it was at sunrise. A rock does not move 50 yards in 2 hours. You adjust the focus ring, trying to get a sharper image. It's not a rock. It's a milestone. A gray, weathered stone pillar with a rounded top, used to mark the distance to the capital. You can see faint carvings on it, Roman numerals. You lower the glass. You look at the map on the wall. The first milestone is supposed to be 3 miles down the road. You look back out the window. That stone is less than a mile away. Is the stone moving, or is the road getting shorter? Silas's logbook sits open on the desk. You remember his entry about the road widening. Now you flip back to a much older entry, 1748, written by a guard named Clement. The handwriting is elegant, full of loops and flourishes. August 3rd. The geometry of the pass is fluid. I have counted the pine trees on the ridge 3 times today. Morning count, 42. Noon count, 45. Evening count, 39. The landscape rearranges itself when we blink. I have decided to stop counting. It is more peaceful not to know. You close the book. Clement was right. Do not count the trees. Do not measure the miles. Just watch. 10 a.m. The boredom sets in. This is the true enemy of the watcher. It isn't the cold or the fear of bandits. It is the crushing weight of time. You start to notice the smallest details in the room. The way the dust motes float in the shaft of sunlight, spiraling in perfect corkscrews. The smell of old beeswax and dry stone. The sound of your own heart beating in your ears. To pass the time, you decide to clean your rifle. It's a heavy flintlock musket leaning against the wall. You don't expect to use it. In fact, the powder in the horn is probably damp. But the mechanical action of dismantling it is soothing. Click, slide, wipe, oil. As you polish the barrel, you hear a sound from outside. It is a low, humming vibration, a musical note. It sounds like a cello being bound by a giant. You freeze. You know what this is. The locals call them the singing rocks. there is a formation of hollow basalt columns about a mile down the valley. When the wind hits them at the exact right angle, they resonate. It is a natural phenomenon. It is physics. But usually, the singing rocks only sing during a storm. Today, the air is still. The flag on top of your tower is limp. There is no wind. So what is playing the rocks? You stand up and go to the window. The mist has cleared completely now. The road stretches out before you, a long gray ribbon winding through the green valley. And there, far in the distance, you see it. Movement.
This time, it is not a rock. It is not a trick of the light. It is a carriage. It is black, a large enclosed coach drawn by 4 black horses. It is moving smoothly along the road, coming from the north, heading south toward the capital. It is about 3 miles out. Your heart gives a little jump. A traveler. Finally, this is what you are here for. This is the job. Rule number 2, log every traveler. You dip your quill into the inkwell. You check the time. 10:15 a.m. Travelers sighted. Direction, southbound. Type, private coach, black lacquer finish. You wait for the sound. A carriage of that size on a cobblestone road should be thunderous. The wheels should clatter. The horses' hooves should strike sparks and echoes off the canyon walls. You should hear the driver shouting, the leather creaking, the chains rattling. You open the window a crack to listen. Silence.
Absolute, heavy silence. The carriage is moving at a fast trot, yet it makes no more noise than a shadow passing over grass. The singing rocks are still humming their low, mournful note, but the carriage itself is mute. You grab the spyglass. You need to see the driver. You need to see who is holding the reins. You focus the lens on the box seat of the approaching coach. The lens blurs, then snaps into clarity. The driver's seat is empty. The reins are floating in the air, pulled taut as if held by invisible hands. The whip sits in its socket, untouched. The horses are running in perfect unison, their heads held high, their eyes wide and dark. They are not being driven. They are being summoned. A chill runs down your spine that has nothing to do with the draft in the floorboards. You look at the brass plaque again. Rule 3. Do not open the gate for anyone without a seal.
The gate is a heavy wooden barrier across the road, right below your tower. It is locked. If that carriage doesn't stop, it will crash right through it. Or, if it is like the rest of this valley, maybe it will pass right through the wood like smoke. You have to make a choice. You are the guard. You are the authority here. Do you go down the spiral stairs, walk out onto the road and demand them to halt? Or do you stay up here in your stone tower and watch? You look at the logbook. You remember Silas's entry from Thursday. I thought I saw a carriage, but it made no sound, logged as hallucination. It wasn't a hallucination, Silas. It was a rehearsal. The carriage is getting closer. It passes the milestone, the one that moved, and as it passes, you see something flicker in the window of the coach. A face? A hand? A curtain moving? No, it was a reflection. The carriage is polished so highly that it reflects the landscape as it passes. But for a second, the reflection didn't match the scenery. The reflection showed a forest that was burning. You blink, and the image is gone. Just pine trees and gray stone reflected in the black lacquer. 10:30 a.m. The carriage is now 1 mile away. It is not slowing down. You put down the pen. You pick up the heavy iron ring of keys. You have to go down, because if you don't go down, you will never know, and the not knowing is worse than the fear. You open the heavy oak door of the watchroom. The spiral stairs await, plunging into darkness. You take the first step down. The air in the stairwell is colder, smelling of damp earth. You descend. 1 step, 2 steps. The tower breathes with you. But as you descend, you realize something. The sound of the singing rocks is getting louder. It's vibrating through the stone walls of the staircase.
And it's not just a hum anymore. It sounds like a voice. A very deep, very slow voice, chanting a language you do not speak. You reach the bottom of the stairs. You stand before the final door that leads out to the road. Your hand is on the latch. Through the wood of the door, you can finally hear the carriage. But it's not the sound of wheels. It's the sound of a clock ticking. Click, clack, click, clack. Loud, mechanical, rhythmic. You throw the bolt. You push the door open. The sunlight hits your face. You step out onto the road, and the carriage is there. There is a moment in every encounter where fear turns into curiosity. You stand on the road, your hand resting on the hilt of your sword. Not that a sword would do much good against this. The carriage has stopped. It didn't slow down gradually. It simply transitioned from motion to stillness in a single heartbeat. No dust rose from the wheels. You are 10 feet away. The horses are magnificent and terrifying. They are not breathing. Their flanks do not heave. Their nostrils do not flare. They stand perfectly still, like statues carved from midnight. You clear your throat. Your voice feels small in the vast silence of the valley. Halt, you say. This is a royal checkpoint. State your business. Silence. The carriage door does not open. The driver's seat remains empty. But the sound, that rhythmic click-clack of a clock mechanism, has stopped. Now, there is only a low, faint whirring sound coming from inside the cabin, like a spinning top losing its momentum. You take a step closer. "I need to see a seal," you announce, trying to sound like the guard you are supposed to be. "Rule number 3, no passage without a seal." The velvet curtain in the carriage window twitches. Then the glass pane slides down. You expect to see a face, a merchant, a noble, perhaps a lost traveler. But the interior of the carriage is dark. Even with the morning sun beating down on the road, the light seems to stop at the threshold of that window. It refuses to enter. You lean in slightly, squinting. "Hello?" From the darkness, a hand emerges. It is a gloved hand. The leather is white, immaculate, and stiff. It holds a piece of parchment. It does not offer the parchment to you. It simply holds it there,
suspended in the air, waiting. You reach out. Your fingers brush against the white glove. It is cold, not the cold of winter, but the cold of metal. You take the parchment. The hand withdraws instantly. The window slides back up with a sharp thud. You stand there on the road, holding the paper. You unfold it. It is a standard travel permit. It has the date. It has the destination, the capital. But then you look at the signature at the bottom, the royal seal. It is stamped in red wax. The crest is a lion and a wolf. Your breath catches. The lion and the wolf was the crest of King Alaric. King Alaric died 150 years ago. This seal hasn't been legal for a century. And yet, the wax is still warm. You have a dilemma. The seal is authentic, but the king is dead. The carriage is impossible, but it is here.
If you refuse them, what happens? Do the stone horses wake up? Does the road swallow you? Or perhaps time in this valley doesn't flow in a straight line. Perhaps for this traveler, Alaric is still on the throne. You are a watcher. Your job is to observe, not to judge the timeline. You walk to the heavy wooden gate. You lift the iron bar. It is heavy, groaning against the rusted hinges. You push the gate open. You step back to the side of the road and salute. It feels ridiculous, saluting a ghost, but you do it anyway. Protocol is the only thing that separates you from the madness of the mist. Pass, you whisper. It moves past you. You feel no wind from its passage. You smell no horse sweat. Instead, as it passes, you smell old books. You smell dust, vanilla, and binding glue, the scent of a library that has been closed for a long time.
You watch it go. It moves down the road, heading toward the Singing Rocks. And then, about 200 yards down, it vanishes. It doesn't fade away. It doesn't drive into the fog. It just blinks out of existence. 1 second it is there, the next the road is empty. 11 a.m. You are back in the tower. You have locked the door. You have bolted it. You have checked the windows. You sit at your desk, the logbook open in front of you. Your hands are shaking slightly. You have to write it down. Rule number 2, log every traveler. You dip the quill. 10:15 a.m. Black coach, north to south. Driver, none. Passenger, unknown. Seal, King Alaric, House of the Wolf.
Smelled of paper. Vanished at the 200-yard mark. You stare at the words. They look insane. If an inspector comes and reads this, they will discharge you. They will send you to the asylum in the lowlands. But you cannot lie to the book. The book is the memory of the tower. You look at the wax seal. You kept the parchment. You place it on the desk. As you watch, the red wax begins to turn gray. It dries up, cracks, and crumbles into dust. The paper yellows, curls, and disintegrates into ash. In 10 seconds, there is nothing left on your desk but a pile of gray dust. Time has caught up with the document.
12 o'clock p.m. High noon. The sun is directly overhead. This is the hardest part of the day. Morning has the mystery of the mist. Evening has the beauty of the sunset. But noon is relentless. The shadows disappear. Everything looks flat. The world looks like a stage set under harsh lighting. You stare out the window. The heat waves are rising from the stone road, creating shimmers. The road looks liquid. It ripples. This is the hour of the noon demon. The ancient monks wrote about it. Acedia, the spiritual exhaustion that comes when the sun is highest. The feeling that nothing matters, that the day will never end. You try to read a book you brought with you, The Travels of Marco Polo, but the words swim on the page. You try to clean the floor. You sweep the dust from the corner, but it just settles back down. You look at the road again. The heat haze is playing tricks. You see shapes in the shimmer.
You see a city in the distance, where the valley should be. Tall spires, glass towers, things that look like metal birds flying in the sky. Is it a mirage? Or is the road showing you what comes next? To break the silence, you start talking to yourself. The bread is stale, you say out loud. The coffee is cold. I should fix the latch on the shutter. Your voice sounds strange. It doesn't echo. The stone walls absorb it instantly. You realize that you haven't heard a bird in an hour. You haven't heard the wind. The singing rocks have stopped. It is absolute silence. The kind of silence that presses against your eardrums. You tap your finger on the desk just to make a sound. Tap, tap, tap. It sounds deafening. And then, a response. From the other side of the wall. Outside. Tap, tap, tap.
You freeze. You are on the second floor of a stone tower. There is no balcony. There is no ladder. The wall outside is sheer granite, dropping 50 feet to the jagged rocks below. Nothing can be tapping on that wall. Tap, tap, tap. It's rhythmic, intelligent. It is right behind the map pinned to the wall. You stand up slowly. You back away from the wall. Who is there? You whisper. Scritch, scritch. The sound changes. It sounds like something sharp scratching against the stone, like someone writing.
Someone is carving something in the outside of your tower, 50 feet in the air. You grab the spyglass. You run to the window. You lean out, risking a fall, and twist your body to look back at the wall where the sound is coming from. You look at the stone. There is nothing there. No bird, no climber, no ghost, just the gray, weathered granite. But the sound continues inside the room. Scritch, scritch. You realize with horror that the sound isn't coming from the outside. It is coming from inside the wall. Something is inside the stone. 1 p.m. You sit in the center of the room, on your stool, holding your musket. You are staring at the wall. The scratching has stopped, but now a fine trickle of sand is pouring out of the tiny crack in the mortar. Hiss.
It pours onto the floor, forming a small pyramid of dust. You watch the sand. It isn't gray mortar dust. It is white sand, fine white beach sand. We are 1,000 miles from the ocean. We are 8,000 feet above sea level. Where is the sand coming from? You stand up and walk to the pile. You touch it. It is warm. And buried in the sand is a small object. It must have been pushed out from the crack along with the dust. You pick it up. It is a shell, a tiny, perfect, spiral seashell. You hold it to your ear. You expect to hear the ocean, but you don't. You hear a voice, a woman's voice, humming a lullaby.
You drop the shell. It clatters on the floor. The humming stops. You look at the brass plaque on the wall. Rule 4. If the road changes, ring the bell. Does this count? The road didn't change. The tower changed. The reality changed. But there is no rule for if the tower starts bleeding sand and singing lullabies. You are alone. You have 5 hours left in your shift. You decide to ignore it. That is the only way to survive the guard post. Ignore the carriage, ignore the sand, ignore the shell. Focus on the road, the physical road. If you look at the mundane long enough, maybe the magic will get bored and leave you alone. You go back to the window. You force yourself to look at the milestone, the one that moved earlier.
You need to verify it. You lift the spyglass. The milestone is gone. Not moved, gone. In its place stands a man. He is waving at you. He looks familiar. He has the same uniform as you. He has the same spyglass. He looks exactly like Silas, the guard who disappeared 2 days ago. But Silas walked down the mountain. This man is walking up, and he is walking backwards.
You watch him through the glass. It is 1:15 p.m. The figure on the road is definitely Silas. You recognize the slump of his shoulders, the way his coat hangs loose on his frame. But the physics of his movement are wrong. He isn't walking backward like a man retreating from a fight. He is walking backward like a reel of film being rewound. He lifts his foot, places it behind him, and shifts his weight with an uncanny smoothness. Dust rises from the road before his heel touches the ground, then settles back down under his boot. It is a violation of cause and effect. You lower the spyglass. Your mouth is dry. You want to shout his name. You want to open the window and yell, "Silas, stop!" But your voice is stuck in your throat. You realize that if he is moving backward in time, he wouldn't hear you. Or rather, he hasn't heard you yet. He reaches the wooden gate, the one you opened for the black carriage hours ago.
He doesn't stop to open it. He passes right through the wood. Not like a ghost passing through a wall, but as if in his timeline the gate is already open. Or perhaps in his timeline the gate never existed. He stands in the middle of the road directly below your tower. He stops. For a moment he stands perfectly still. Then his head snaps up. He looks directly at your window. His eyes are wide, terrified. He opens his mouth to scream, but no sound comes out. or at least no sound that human ears can understand. It is a sucked-in noise, an inhalation of a scream. Mer dra kol. The syllables are reversed. He raises his hand. He is holding something, a small black book. He throws it, but because he is moving in reverse, the motion looks like a catch. The book flies up from the mud of the road and snaps into his palm. He clutches it to his chest. Then he turns, or rather unturns, and continues his backward march up the mountain, disappearing into the blind spot beneath the tower overhang. You sit back, your heart hammering against your ribs. Ma, draw, cull. You grab your quill. You write it down on a scrap of paper. You stare at the letters. You try to read them backward. L-O-C-K-H-A-R-D-R-E-A-M. Lock, hard, realm? No, that doesn't make sense. Lock, her, dream? You shake your head. You are trying to find logic in madness. 1:30 p.m. You rush to the other side of the tower, to the window that overlooks the path leading up the mountain. You need to see where he went. You scan the rocky trail. It is empty. There is no Silas. There are no footprints. Just the wind blowing the heather and the silent gray rocks. He is gone again. Or maybe he hasn't arrived yet. You look at the brass plaque on the wall. Rule number 4 stares back at you. If the road changes, ring the bell. There is a thick hemp rope hanging in the corner of the room. It goes up through a hole in the ceiling to the bronze bell on the roof. You have never rung it. Legend says the bell can be heard all the way to the valley floor. It is the signal for invasion, for plague, for the end of the world. You walk over to the rope. The hemp is rough in your hands. If you ring it, the cavalry comes, the inspectors come. They will ask you what you saw. What will you tell them? I saw a carriage with no driver. I saw a wall bleed sand. I saw a man walk backward into yesterday. They will lock you up. You let go of the rope. You are the watcher. You are the filter. Your job isn't to stop the madness. Your job is to witness it so the rest of the world can sleep. 3 p.m. The light changes. Usually the afternoon light in the mountains is golden. It warms the stone and makes the pine trees smell like resin. But today the light turns thin. It's a pale, watery yellow, like old parchment.
The shadows aren't falling in the right direction. The sun is in the west, but the shadows of the window frames are stretching toward the north. You check your pocket watch. It is ticking steadily. You check the grandfather clock in the corner. It is also ticking, but they are out of sync. The pocket watch says 3:05. The grandfather clock says 3:02. 3 minutes lost or gained. You sit down at the desk. You feel heavy. The noon demon has passed, replaced by a strange, heavy melancholia. This is the hour of nostalgia. The hour where you miss people you haven't seen in years. You think of your childhood home, the smell of baking bread, the sound of rain on a tin roof. Why are you thinking of that now? You look at the pile of white sand on the floor. It has spread. It is now covering the toe of your boot. You reach down and touch it again. It is cold now. And there is something else in the sand. Another shell? No.
It is a toy soldier. A small tin soldier painted in a red coat. You pick it up. The paint is chipped. The face is worn smooth. Your breath catches in your throat. You know this soldier. You owned this soldier when you were 7 years old. You lost it in the garden of your parents' house, 300 miles away, 27 years ago. You spent a week looking for it. You cried when you couldn't find it. How is it here? How is it inside a wall in a remote guard tower on the edge of the kingdom? You turn the soldier over. Scratched into the tin base in clumsy, childish handwriting are initials T.E. Thomas Elian. Your name. The tower isn't just leaking sand, it is leaking you. It is dredging up your history and pushing it out through the cracks in the mortar. 4 p.m. The fog returns. It doesn't roll in from the valley this time. It drops from the sky, a thick, heavy blanket of white that presses against the glass. Visibility is 0. You can't see the road, you can't see the trees, you can't even see the ground below. The tower is now an island floating in a white void. You are completely alone. And then you hear it. Knock, knock, knock. It is polite, gentle. It is coming from the heavy oak door at the bottom of the spiral stairs, the door that leads out to the road. Someone is knocking. You stare at the door to the stairwell. Rule number 3, do not open the gate for anyone without a seal. But this isn't the gate. This is your front door. And you didn't hear a horse. You didn't hear footsteps on the gravel. Knock, knock.
Hello? A voice calls out. It is a pleasant voice, a man's voice. Is anyone home? The fog is terrible. I seem to have lost my way. You stand up. You pick up your musket. You walk to the stairwell door. You listen. I saw your light, the voice says. I know you're up there. You frown. Who are you? You call down the shaft. Your voice echoes. My name is Clement. You freeze. Clement. You look at the bookshelf. You look at the old logbooks. Clement was the guard who served here in 1748, 6 years ago. The one who wrote about counting the trees. The one who died of a fever in this very room, or so the records said.
I used to work here, the voice continues, cheerful and conversational. My left something behind. May I come in? You grip the musket tighter. Clement is dead, you shout down. A pause. Then a laugh, soft, dry, and entirely devoid of humor. Am I? The voice asks. Or am I just earlier? You hear the latch on the bottom door rattle. You locked it. You know you locked it. You threw the deadbolt yourself at 11 a.m. after the carriage passed. But the rattle stops. And then you hear the distinct, heavy clunk of the deadbolt sliding back. From the inside? Or did he have a key?
The door creaks open, and then footsteps, heavy boots on stone steps, coming up. 1, 2, 3. He is coming up the spiral stairs. You back away from the stairwell. You aim the musket at the open doorway. The footsteps are slow, deliberate. They are accompanied by a whistling sound. He is whistling a tune, Lavender's Blue Dilly Dilly, the same tune the shell was singing. He is halfway up. "It's a funny thing about this tower, Thomas," the voice calls out, echoing closer now. "It remembers everyone. It just forgets in which order they arrived. You have seconds. You can shoot, but can you shoot a memory? You can run, but there is nowhere to go but the window. Or you can wait." You lower the musket. Curiosity, it is the curse of the watcher. You have to see his face. The footsteps reach the top landing. A hand grips the stone frame of the doorway. It is a normal hand, flesh and bone. And then Clement steps into the room. He looks normal. He is wearing the old-style uniform, blue instead of gray. He is younger than you expected. He is smiling. But there is something wrong with his face. His eyes. They are not eyes. They are mirrors. Perfect circular mirrors where his irises should be. And in those mirrors, you don't see your own reflection. You see the road, and the road in his eyes is on fire. "Tea?" Clement asks, gesturing to your pot. "It's been a long walk from 1748.
Fear is a reaction to the unknown. But when the unknown walks into your room, pours a cup of coffee, and asks about the weather, fear turns into something else. It turns into vertigo. You lower the gun. You realize the absurdity of it. You cannot shoot a ghost. You cannot kill a memory. And Clement, despite his mirrored eyes, feels less like a monster and more like a tired coworker coming in for a shift change. "You're dead," you say again. It is the only anchor you have left. Clement takes a sip. He grimaces. "Dead is a very strong word, Thomas. It implies a permanence that this valley doesn't respect. Let's just say I was archived." He walks over to the window, the one overlooking the road. He stands where you have stood for 12 hours. "The road is restless today," Clement notes, his voice calm, resonating slightly as if he is speaking into a metal bucket. "It knows you're watching. That's why it's showing off. The sand, the shells, the carriage. It's testing your focus. You step closer. You are drawn to his eyes. Those mirrors. They don't reflect the room. They don't reflect you. In the left eye, you see the road as it was 1,000 years ago, a deer trail through a primeval forest. In the right eye, you see the road as it will be, broken, burning, the sky turned to ash. "What is this place?" you ask. "Why are we guarding an empty road?" Clement turns to look at you. The reflection of the burning future shifts to look at your face. "We aren't guarding the road from travelers, Thomas. We are guarding the world from the road." Clement taps the stone windowsill. "This tower is a pin," he explains.
The needle. It pins the map to the territory. If we stop watching, if we stop writing in the logbook, the road wanders. It connects places that shouldn't meet. The capital connects to the ocean. The 1700s connect to the Iron Age. We look, therefore it stays still. He gestures to the pile of sand on the floor. You let your mind wander at 1 p.m. You stopped observing the present, so the tower leaked. It brought you a soldier from your past. You look at the tin soldier in your pocket. It feels heavy, like lead. So I just watch? You witness, Clement corrects. To witness is to trap reality in ink. That is the burden. 5 p.m.
The light in the room shifts again. The pale yellow turns to a deep, bruised purple. The sun is dipping behind the granite peaks. The golden hour here isn't gold, it is violet. The shadows in the corners of the room begin to detach themselves from the objects that cast them. The shadow of the chair stands up and stretches, while the chair remains still. Clement checks his own pocket watch. It has no hands, just a spinning face. "My time is up," he says. "I belong to the shift of 48. I can't be here for the sunset of 54. The math gets too messy." He sets the coffee cup down. He walks toward the door, not the stairwell door, but the solid stone wall where the map is pinned. "Wait," you say. "What happens at sunset?" Clement pauses. He looks back. For a second, the mirrors in his eyes clear, and you see human eyes. Sad, tired, brown eyes.
"The day shift watches the road," he whispers. "But the night shift watches the sky. Do not open the shutters after dark, Thomas. Whatever knocks, do not let it in." He steps forward. He walks directly into the map. He doesn't tear the paper. He ripples through it like water. One moment he is there. The next, the map is flat against the wall again. Clement is gone. You run to the map. You touch it. It is dry paper, solid stone behind it. You look at the coffee cup on the table. It is empty, but there is a stain on the rim. He was real, or real enough. 5:45 p.m. The sun is half gone. The valley is drowning in shadow. The road below is losing its definition. It is turning into a gray blur. You have 15 minutes of your shift left, but the air has changed.
The smell of ozone is gone, replaced by the smell of wet fur and static electricity. You go to the logbook. You have to write this down. You pick up the quill. 5 p.m. Visited by former guard Clement, 1748. Conversation confirmed the nature of the tower. Warning, do not open shutters after dark. Your hand is steady. You are no longer afraid. You are past fear. You are in the realm of acceptance. You are the pin in the map. You look out the window one last time before the light fails. The road is doing something new. It is glowing.
The cobblestones are emitting a faint bioluminescent pulse, like a vein carrying blood. And standing on the road, looking up at you, are figures, hundreds of them. They are standing shoulder to shoulder, silent, stationary. They are wearing clothes from every century, tunics, suits of armor, rags, strange metallic suits. They are the travelers you never saw. the ones who walked while you blinked. They are all looking up at the tower, watching the watcher. 6 p.m. The sun drops. The light snaps off like a candle being blown out. Darkness floods the valley instantly. The shift is over. But you can't leave, because as the sun sets, the heavy oak door to the stairwell, the only way out, slams shut. You hear the lock turn from the outside. Click. You run to the door. You pull the handle. Locked. You are not just the guard. You are the prisoner. And then the brass plaque on the wall changes. The text melts and reforms. The old rules are gone. A new rule appears, etched in glowing red letters. The night shift begins. Rule 1. Survive until dawn. The day is done. The real work starts now.
When you stare into the abyss, you expect the abyss to scream. You expect teeth. You expect malice. But the universe is rarely malicious. It is simply large, and it is curious. You stand there, face to face with the night. The eye blinks, a slow tectonic movement of an eyelid the size of a mountain. You realize with a sudden calm clarity that Clement was wrong, or perhaps he was just testing you. You don't need to survive the night, you just need to acknowledge it. You place your hand against the cold glass. Outside, the entity mirrors the movement, a shift in the stars, a pressure against the air. You are the watcher. It is the watched.
For a moment, the roles reverse. You feel seen. Not as a soldier, not as a number in a logbook, but as a soul standing on a rock, holding a candle against the infinite. I see you, you whisper. The eye dilates. A flash of recognition, or just the physics of a star dying? Then slowly the entity pulls back. The darkness outside shifts. The stars return to their places. The moon slides back into view. The pressure lifts. You latch the shutters. Click. The room is yours again. The madness is locked out. Or perhaps you were locked in with the sanity. You walk to the desk. The red glowing text on the brass plaque fades. The metal cools. It returns to the simple etched brass. Rule 1. Watch the road.
The night shift rules were not a command. They were a hallucination of fear. Once you stopped being afraid, the rules vanished. You sit down. The candle has burned low. The wax is pooling on the wood. You open the logbook to the final page of the day. You have a choice. You can write about the eye. You can write about the sand, the shell, the backward walking man, the mirror-eyed ghost. But you look at the inkwell. You think about the nature of this tower. It is a pin. It holds the world together by pretending that everything is normal. If you write down the madness, you make it real. If you write down the mundane, you heal the rift. You dip the quill.
6 p.m. Shift ended. Status: quiet. Road condition: stable. Notes: the wind was loud tonight, but the walls held. You close the book. You are not just Thomas anymore.
You are Silas. You are Clement. You are every man who has ever sat in this chair. You are the eternal recurrence. You reach into your pocket and pull out the tin soldier. You walk over to the wall, the one with the crack in the mortar. You push the soldier back into the hole. You push the shell in after it. You take a pinch of the white sand and seal the crack. For the next one, you whisper,
You could leave. The door is open. You could walk down the stairs, get on your horse and ride back to the city, back to the noise, back to the world where roads stay still and time moves forward. But you look around the room. The smell of old paper, the warmth of the dying fire, the absolute perfect silence. You realize something terrifying and beautiful. You don't want to leave. The world down there is chaotic. It is full of noise and lies. Up here, there is only the truth, even if the truth is a giant eye in the sky. You pick up the coffee pot. It's cold. You pour a cup. You sit back down in the wooden chair. It creaks. A familiar sound. You wrap the blanket tighter around your shoulders. You pick up the spyglass. You wait for the sun. We spend our lives looking for a path. We run, we chase, we worry about the destination. But sometimes the most important journey is the one where you don't move at all. Sometimes you just have to sit in the tower and watch the road wait for you.